The first thing, guys, is too much pressure on a whitetail deer before season ever starts, okay? If you've got bedding areas, you've put out cameras, you're putting out food, minerals, all these different things you're doing for the whitetail deer, okay? Every time you go out there, you are most likely spooking deer. You're leaving scent behind. So anytime a whitetail wants to come into the area, they won't because they're scared you're there. So like I said, this area is for the whitetail deer. So leave it alone. Leave it for the whitetail deer, okay? If you're going through the bedding areas and you're leaving your scent behind especially, they can see you. They pattern you just like you pattern them. If they see you coming through their areas, those bedding areas are blown, okay? And all of the stuff that you've done all year long, you know, keeping them in those areas, staying out of their sanctuary place and allowing them to feel safe, you're blowing it away, because every single time you go through there, they think, well, this place isn't safe anymore, so we're going to find a new place to bed. All right, trail cameras. Most of the people nowadays, they have trail cameras like Reveal or other cameras, you know, that you can get the picture sent right to your phone. The only time you need to go out there is if the batteries are dead or something like that. And even then, if they're going dead fast, you're getting a lot of pictures. You know, I would definitely space it out. Try to get your batteries to last a month or so you don't have to go out there every couple weeks or every couple days to redo everything, basically to leave your scent behind. Or if you're putting out minerals or scent or anything like that, I think a good rule of thumb is before season, it's got to be month increments. Number 2 is scouting summer deer, thinking that you've patterned them and that whenever deer season gets here, they're going to be right where you left them. Okay, they're going to be right where you had them all summer long. What you don't get, or a lot of people get it, but what most people that are going out in the woods, that are weekend warriors, don't understand is it affects the scent industry, I would say, more than a lot of industries in the hunting industry, because just because you see a buck right now in July and August, he's not going to be there. And there's one thing that is going to change everything. And that's the guy on the 40 acres next to you pouring out a bag of corn. He's changed everything with one bag of corn. Okay, so whenever you say, oh, well, I got a deer and I've patterned him, he's going to be in the same area, he just never leaves. Okay, well, first off, is he in a bachelor group? Okay, because as rut kicks in and they go hard-horned, the first thing they're doing is they're running off all the other bucks. So if you had 1, 2, 3 bucks in a bachelor group that are all shooters, and then all of a sudden you only got one, those other 2 will most likely run off by the bigger one because he does not want to feel intimidated. You know, he's the bigger buck. This is his area, and he's going to run off the smaller bucks. He wants to breed, okay? He don't want anything else to breed. But in the same sense, if you see those 3 bucks, or you have a herd of does, 10, 15 does, and all of a sudden everything's changed and you don't see nothing, it's not necessarily you did something wrong. But John Boy over here on the back 40 put out a bag of corn because he wants to know what's on his property. And what nobody in the hunting industry seems to really realize is, unless you're Lukowski or you're a Drury, you don't have what it takes to keep a piece of property full of whitetail deer unless you pour out a bag of corn. Okay, there's just no other way around it. People are doing this stuff every single day, pouring out more and more corn. And that's why one day you'll see a buck, the next day you don't. Or in the middle of deer season, whenever John Boy shot his buck, the one you wanted, and he's done pouring out corn for the year. So now finally the deer come back to your property and they're going to start eating your corn. You didn't do anything to hold those deer. You didn't do anything to keep those deer on your property. You poured out a bag of corn, okay? Nothing against people that hunt over corn or anything like that. You know, like I said, different states have different things that they do, and that's fine. I'm just saying, I think whenever you pour out a bag of corn, most of the time it's just bringing in deer at night. So yes, whenever you are watching these deer throughout the summer, don't get sidetracked by the fact that they're there, so they're always going to be there. That's not the truth. Okay, guys, you are literally going to lose every deer that's on your property periodically throughout the season, and it's nothing that you did. It's because they just put out a corn pile and the deer are hungry. Number 3, guys, waiting too long to plan access routes, stands, or shooting lanes. Guys, this is one of the most important things. This is one of the most important things to get done in the spring, okay? If you can get this done in very early spring, that way you know exactly where you're going in during season, and then throughout the summer, all you have to do is go in with the mower, the brush hog, do whatever. You have a plan, okay? And you're going in, you're clearing those routes, you're clearing those shooting lanes, and then with your stands, you're putting them up, and that allows the deer to get used to that stand being there all summer long. And you don't have to worry about him freaking out during deer season. I mean, with somebody being up in the stand, yes. I mean, if you don't have the right cover or anything like that, the deer's still going to freak out if he sees you movement-wise. That's all those things that you're going to have to critique during season. But to get your scent and everything in during the spring and out, and then you can watch them all year long, coming in and out, watching, you know, all of their routes. Like we said in the previous points, you know, summertime is going to be completely different, most likely, than what fall and winter actual season is like, with their you know, tracking the routes that they're taking in and out around your food plots and around your stands. All that stuff's going to change. Not to mention, if they're in bachelor groups and stuff like that, when they break up, you're not going to see the bucks moving together. So you know, saying you have a buck patterned throughout the summer it really isn't fair, okay? Because they're going to change, like I said, whenever the neighbor throws corn on the ground, or when the buck the bachelor packs break up, they're going to change the way they come in and out of your property. So yes, definitely get all of that stuff done early spring. That way your scent's eliminated, it's gone, they're used to the stands, and you know that whenever you're going in, you know, you have those routes that you're going in, they're cleared, everything's good. You're not going to be making a ton of noise going into your stands. And then the shooting lanes, whenever you get up into your shooting lane or up into your stand, and you know you want to take your bow with you, you know, that way you can get up there, you can look, you can make sure that you can move all the way around, you can pivot, you know, do whatever you have to do. All right. That is one of the most important things. Do not forget that. Number 4, building your whole season around one buck, one stand, one entry point, one exit, you know, one food plot, all of that, guys, that is a mistake. By the end of the season, you're going to be disappointed. For one, you know, you have it set up, it seems perfect. Day one of the season, your neighbor shoots your buck off of a corn pile, okay? He's posted pictures all over Facebook and everything else. Your whole season is blown, okay? Because you planned everything around that one buck, okay? There's numerous ways, there's numerous bucks, and to plan around one set, you know, strategy, to plan around that one buck and all that, that is just crazy, okay? You have to be mobile in your stand. You got to be able to move around, okay? Like we said before, buck wise, you know, that deer does not belong to you, okay? So don't get discouraged if somebody else shoots the deer that, you know, that was your number one hit lister, because it's probably theirs too, okay? But there will be different deer come in and out of your set throughout the year. Like I said, you know, if your back 40 neighbor pours out a bag of corn on the ground and you are, you know, not seeing anything and nothing's going right and everything, when his corn runs out, and it will run out, he'll have days where he forgets to put corn out or he can't get to it. You'll see those deer start to come back, okay? And when they start to come back, you're going to get pictures. That's when you have to be ready, okay? The biggest thing is being in your stand. If you can't be in your stand, you know, at least, you know, a couple times a week, then your chances of getting or harvesting that one buck is going to be very slim. And the last and final one, guys, is, you know, failing to practice in hunting conditions. You know, if you're not taking your bow out with you in early season, whenever you're cutting those lanes in, or, you know, especially when you're cutting the lanes in, you're shooting lanes, that way you can get, you know, take a target with you. Make sure that you can make the shots that you're clearing for, because if you can't, and then you wait until season, you know, if you do what I tell you to do and you don't go out throughout the season, or, you know, you're going in opening morning and your buck comes in, the buck that you're number one hit lister, and you pull back and you're like, I can't make a shot out of here because, you know, I didn't practice, and there's so many things in my way, or, you know, if I would have had my bow, I could have realized that I couldn't have taken this shot from here. So guys, that's the number one thing, is make sure that you are practicing in the hunting conditions. And then on top of that, you know, when you're at home, you know, I've seen a lot of people that when they get to the woods, they will shoot with their quiver on, okay? But at home, they don't shoot with a quiver. You know, those are little things like that that it's going to throw you off. However you're practicing, make sure that whenever you go to the woods, you are doing the same thing there that you did while you were target practicing at the house, okay? So any little things that you do, they can throw you off, all right? Make sure that whenever you're going to the woods, you know, a couple of the things that we talked about earlier in the video, you know, make sure you're doing the scent control. You know, it doesn't have to be overboard, like I said, but make sure, you know, if you're going to go out, you know, shower, you know, spray something on your boots to kind of eliminate it, you know, just to help out a little bit, okay? A little bit, it goes a long way in hunting, okay? Now, you don't have to be perfect. We went over that too. You know, I've killed bucks and didn't do anything. Was sweating to death, just got out of school, probably had some girl's perfume on me, okay? But my thing is you can go out and kill a buck, kill a big buck, and you don't have to do these things. But you're definitely increasing your odds if you just pay attention to what you're doing and making sure that you are going out and you're being a good steward of the land and treating Mother Nature the way it's supposed to be done. And also, you know, like I said, when you're going in, you're going into the whitetail's home. Okay, that is their home. So when you go in, you don't want them to know you were there. All right. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Ding that bell and all the notifications will come to you. We're on Instagram and Facebook. If you guys would follow us on those. Anything we can do for you. This is an educational channel. We really want to help as many people as we possibly can in the hunting industry. Yeah, just leave us a message below if there's anything you want us to do for you guys. All right. Thanks, guys.